See, I don't feel pain because of what I've been through as a kid. My brain can switch off, and that's why I just got a bit emotional. Then I don't want to start getting all teary then, but anytime I think of pain, I just think of my dad.
Yeah, I hear you.
So anytime I think of pain, I think of my dad, because that's the diversion. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm in pain, my dad comes in my head and I don't feel pain no more. So when I'm thinking about pain, it makes me emotional now because I've got to think of my dad. And I did love my dad. I really did love my dad. And I miss him now he's dead, and I never had the opportunity to make a relationship with him because I listened to a lot of inharmonious information about him from my mum, and I sort of took sides with my mum and never believed my dad. Although my dad wasn't an angel, my mum wasn't an angel either, and no one deserves to be alienated from their kids, you know. Like, I've got kids and it kill me. My kids do. Like, sometimes my eldest kids don't want to talk to me and it fucking hurts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really does hurt. Like when you ring them for like a month and they don't pick their phone up, and then all of a sudden they'll ring up and say, "Oh, hi Dad, sorry I missed all your calls," and you just think, wow, like, I'm sorry I hurt you so much. I'm sorry I wasn't there, but let's make it up because you're going to regret it, but they just don't get it. You know, like, I was a fool for the mistakes I made as a kid. I owe it to my children to make it up to them. I can never replace the days I was never there, but if we don't build a relationship, how are they going to ever get any sort of closure when they're older? Like, I haven't got closure now. When I think about my dad, I get emotional. And I know my kids ain't been through half of what I've been through. And I know when I die, they're going to hate themselves because I hate myself for not listening to my dad or trying to build a relationship with my dad because I believe my mum. And I know my older kids believe their mum, you know, and it's just sad, but it's life. It's working class environments, making the wrong choices, becoming a gangster, thinking I'm the best thing since sliced bread, and these are my consequences. So the pain I live with and the suffering I go through is self-inflicted. So I don't want no pity from nobody because I should have been a better dad. I shouldn't have been in prison. I shouldn't have been in prison. I should have thought, I'm going to fucking shovel shit for my kids. I ain't going to prison, do you know what I mean? But because of the ego, the mindset and the environment, the programming, it's a combination of everything. But ultimately I made choices and they were the wrong ones, and I've got to be accountable for that. And I am, hence the reason why it makes me so emotional. Because no kid deserves to suffer. No kid deserves not to have their parents there. Do you know what I mean? Like, no kid deserves not to be loved. And my kids felt I didn't love them. And although I loved them undoubtedly, unquestionably, the way I showed them my love was just to make sure that they never went without the materialistic stuff that I yearned for when I was a kid. But by giving them what I never had, created what I went through. Do you know what I mean? And that's the madness that I wish I could change, but I can't. And I've got to live with it. And maybe one day they'll see and have a little bit of empathy, but they're like me. They're hard-headed, they're stubborn, and they won't bend. So it ain't until I'm gone that they're going to realise their mistake, and it's sad and it pains me, but it's reality, it's life, and there's just nothing we can do about it. Only they can change how they think and feel, and only they can change what they do. So I can only hope and pray that one day before I die the penny drops with them and we build a phenomenal relationship again, you know.
Perhaps the penny's going to drop from them watching these podcasts. Have any of them mentioned to you?
They won't watch them.
They won't watch them.
No, they just, I don't know. Like, I know all their friends watch them, and their friends, all their friends are blown away by my story, and I communicate with my kids' friends more than I do my own kids. You know what I mean? Like, my kids, even like my kids' friends say, I can't believe they won't listen to you. Like, why don't they have nothing to do with you? Like, and they all benefit, like, their friends all benefit from me, but I think it's the stubbornness again, because if they side with me, they're letting their mum down. And I went through the same thing with my mum. I didn't want to let my mum down. Do you know what I mean? So I understand where they're at, and I love them for being so loyal to their mum. but they don't realise the pain they're suffering that they're going to have when they're older. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not that guy their mum said I am.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not that guy their mum said I am. Like, I'm not that guy. Like, I wasn't there. You're right. I wasn't there. And your mum's right. I wasn't there. But what your mum's saying I wasn't that guy. I wasn't there because I thought me being in prison and giving you that money every week, that house to live in, them clothes to wear, the presents. I never got Christmas presents every year. I never got birthday presents every year. I never got pocket money. So making sure my kids had all that, I thought I was doing the right thing.
Perhaps the message is reaching them through their friends, and that is a good first step to get through to them.
Mate, whatever way it
take
gets
some
through,
time.
Listen, time is what we all have, and time is something that I don't really play with anymore, because everything has its own time, and I don't rely on my time for anything to happen. So everything has its destined time. So in time, it will get better, I hope, but it's still painful. It's still painful. So, and this is a real bad man. And this is the fucked up shit that us real bad men have to go through. Why? So we can be that bad man. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing that I don't mind showing, because I was a bad man. For what? To impress everybody, to get my ego massaged. My kids are suffering and I'm suffering now. Do you know what I mean? So it ain't worth it. Fuck it. None of it's worth it. Get a job, look after your family, and be the best man you can be. Be the healthiest man you can be the strongest, fittest man you can be, and provide your family with everything they need. Materialistically, financially, spiritually, but more importantly, personally. That personal presence in your kid's life is everything.
At the end of the day, your fair weather friends are going to depart when the shit hits the fan, and it's your family that has your back. I lost all my money. The cops seized it. My parents, they're not rich people. They remortgaged their house, come up with almost 100 grand to get me out of that situation. Otherwise, I'd still be in prison right now, because in America, you get what justice you can afford. So think about your family members when you're doing these things. I know that the drugs road is very long, and you just think you're fun and it's cool at the beginning. But if you're going down that road, you're getting closer to just breaking your mum and dad's hearts. Your kids, are they going to come and visit you in prison, and all the shit they're going to go through because of your criminal association? It's a huge, important lesson, is think about your family. You can make all the money in the world. What is it worth? It's not worth shit. Who's going to be there on your deathbed? It's going to be your family members, isn't it? That is way more important.
And I've been on my deathbed, and it's only your clothes, like, the man. That's what made me go straight, because that's what broke my heart more than anything. The fact that all the people I'd sacrificed my future, my life, my well-being for never come to see me. And the only people that come to see me, the people that I made suffer. Do you know what I mean? I made suffer. Like your friends, your family, like your close friends and your family, you make suffer. Because even my closest friends, they was like, why are you risking your liberty? Don't do that, Marv, man. Like my closest friend growing up, Timothy Knievi, he turned his life around after our first armed robbery. Well, after our first nicking. When we got nicked for armed robbery, we was on the landings with all the Cat A's, 19, 20 years of age we was. And he said then, Mark, I ain't doing this no more. They're mugs. Look at them all. Look at them. They're 40 years of age. They're mugs, mate. I ain't going to be here at 40. You're fucking, I ain't never coming back. And he's never been back. He's never been back. He got out. He had his own issues, transcending to where he is today, but he's a phenomenal human being. He's got over his issues. He brought up his children. His children are phenomenal, and they're basically middle classes kids. You know what I'm saying? So gone to university. That's a testament in itself that your children to go to university. We don't even push for that in a working class environment. Do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is that all about? Get to university, become somebody. University, you will become somebody. You will have something to apply to life. Will benefit, some benefits. Like, you ain't gonna really benefit getting a job and working for the rest of your life. You're just gonna get the same as everybody else and be miserable and moan that you got to pay taxes. Create infrastructures to create employment. That is the key. Create employment for others and you will become wealthy. okay? So don't be selfless, create employment for others so you can become wealthy. And my wealth I'm going to create is for my kids, and their kids to survive when I'm well after I'm gone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's my legacy I'm looking to leave. It's not about me being financially cake-o and spoiling and partying. I partied hard my whole entire life from when I was 14 years of age. 13 years of age. We partied hard. You know, so I've got no more partying in me. You know, I don't even drink now. I occasionally, I had a drink at my mate's wedding. I had a drink at my mate's christening. I had a drink at my mate's funeral. I drank one, like, I'd say in the last 6 years, I've literally had 6 drinks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've stopped as well.
Come on, man. It's a catalyst to badness. It's a catalyst to drugs and violence. And that's it. Drugs, violence and prison.
Drink is the number one drug in the deaths of young people. Binge drinking and the violence and the murder. Number one drug in all violent crime and number one drug in all sex crime.
Listen,
Yeah.
more people die from alcohol and dairy than anything else on this planet. Dairy products and alcohol are the 2 biggest contributing killing factors of this planet. Fact.
Yet the weed is the devil in the eyes of the government.
No, that's to take the dairy off the dairy and the alcohol. Because that's the government's baby. That's the government's like drug. Do you know what I mean? That's the government's hook. Dairy and alcohol. They've legalised it, but that's killing everybody.
And tobacco was the big one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but see, it's only what the chemicals they put in tobacco. You see the conspiracy theories again. Tobacco isn't actually harmful unless you put all the chemicals in it.
Got to make that money.
Got to make that money.
All right, so you described brilliantly how you recovered and rebuilt from the injuries. How did you rebuild your life once you were back, you know?
Walking away from crime.
You walked away. What year was that?
2015.
That was 2015, not that long ago.
Not that long ago. And I was still heavily involved in sort of collecting, protecting, and sort of providing everything still. Apart from guns, but drugs, violence and protection, I was developing and providing. And then we got to a situation where a young kid owed a bit of money and he had to get hurt, and I found out it was my son's friend.
Jeez.
And that was the penultimate turning point of my life. That's when I realised that I was causing 98% of the problems in my environment. You know, when the people were getting stabbed and shot and beaten and robbed, that's because I'm getting products put in their hand. Do you know what I mean? And they're getting robbed for the money, they're getting robbed for the product, people hating. So I just thought, I can't do this no more. So I sat him down, I said, look, I'll wipe your debt clear if you come off the road. He come off the road and he's gone on to become an exemplary human being. He turns over a phenomenal amount of money with his little organisation, and they're spitting the artists, the music artists out one every year, and they're making good progress. So they've got the biggest artist on the scene at the moment. Do you know what I mean? They've got 4 coming up behind him. You know, so
Can you give him a plug, or you do not want to mention?
But the artist is Young Ambush, and Young Ambush. He was my son's friend. G-Man was the young guy I mentored, and their organisation is just growing, and it's Buzzworld. And check them out; they're phenomenal human beings. I think together we're going to change the face of this grime street music, and to create positive content for people to grow with, learn with, and adapt to, you know.
Do they have a YouTube channel? We could put that below the video.
Yeah, it should be. Buzzworld should be right there, everything, yeah. Okay. Buzzworld. And I like to take a little bit of credit for what they've become, because I don't know where they would be if it wasn't for my transition into the legitimate world. I believe young Gotten, I mentored, still mentored today, mentored him into the man he is. He's on YouTube, he's given me the acclaim that I've mentored him through his fatherhood, how to become a better father, how to live, train, like everything I do, I'll give him information so he can grow as an individual. I don't charge him or cost him. I don't bill no one for that. I just do what I do because I love them, man. They're my kids' friends and they're the younger generation. It's our responsibility to perpetuate the species productively and positively. without harming or devastation. And the only way to do that is by mentoring kids in the right way, not giving them products that can put them in prison or get them stabbed, shot or killed.
Exactly.
You know?
And you touched on another important thing in my own soul searching, in reflecting on what I'd done, is there comes a point where you have to take responsibility for everything you've done. I think when you first get arrested, you're like, fucking cops have got me and they're being sneaky, and you're resisting it. But there comes a point where you have to take responsibility for everything. And even the people who cooperated with the police against you, you have to take responsibility for employing those people and choosing those people and having them work with you. And since I got released, I have been in communication with those people, and I told them I completely forgive them. I hired you. It was my decision. Yeah, exactly.
They've done nothing wrong. It's like the guy that shot me. I want him to develop programs with me on forgiveness and retribution, because without him shooting me, I'd still be a lunatic. And I actually dread to think where I'd be right now if I never got shot. So I actually thank Mark for being brave enough to shoot me, because I was doing madness on this planet for years and no one was brave enough to shoot me. Do you know what I mean? Because of the consequences from the networks that I was connected to, everyone was always, it wasn't personally just me, but no one knew who was going to come for them, because I'm connected to this one, that one, this one, that one, this one. So who's going to come for me? And everyone loves Marv. Do you know what I mean? Some people hate Marv because I'll get things done better than them and they resent me, envy, all that bollocks. They're the ones that hate me. But generally, people love me because I'm selfless. I do for you so you can benefit. Do you know what I mean? Even when I was giving people drugs, it weren't so I could benefit. Well, the only way I benefited is because that was my bank. So if I got 60 grand, I'll buy 2 kilos. I'll give you a kilo. I'll give you a kilo. Right? So to me, I'm only getting my money back off of you. But in hindsight, it's my free drugs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And anytime I needed money, it was there.
Yeah.
So that was just my banking structure. So for that sake, people believed I was something special.
Yeah.
Because I'd give you 50 key, 100 key, 200 key a puff. Mm-hmm. I'll give you 3, 4, 5 key a coke. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll do that because that's my money in the bank. Do you know what I mean? When I've got no graft, I've got no money. And that was how it was growing up as a kid, So I'll just advise everybody just to get out of that world. It's not healthy. It's not good. I smile and I laugh, but I cry also. And you see me cry, and that's real pain. It's not made up. Like, I've suffered, and everybody in that world suffers. Even people in the shovel now are suffering. They're bad men that are never getting out of jail. And yeah, they're bad men. Yeah, but they're never getting out of jail. Their kids, their cousins, their mum, their dad, I've got to go and visit them until they bury them. Why? For what? So people can pat them on their back and say that they're the guy. Come on, man. We've all got to wake up and stop this madness. Stop this madness. And we've all got to build and grow and perpetuate our species into a better place for the future, for our great grandkids. So that's my journey now on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could speak to you for hours, Marvin. I can't believe what you've been through. I've learned a lot more about you today. I feel really close to you, actually, after you've told me these things. A lot of respect.
I nearly died there when I got stabbed there. I nearly died there when I got stabbed in my heart. I nearly died in my lungs. I've had both my lungs punctured. Do you know what I mean? I've had my femoral artery busted 3 times. Do you know what I mean? I've had a 100-mile-an-hour bike crash on a motorbike, a head-on collision. Do you know what I mean? I've been chopped in the head twice with an axe. I've been stabbed, I don't know how many times. Like, do you know what I mean? We've been through it. We've been through it, mate. Like, I've got the scars to prove it, and I've got defense wounds where I've been stabbed in the arm, like people stabbing me in the arm, and I've been shot. Not just on that occasion. I got shot with another little shotgun, a little pepper thing. I've been shot with a 2-2. Do you know what I mean? I've been cut, stabbed, beaten. Like, I've had fights. I've been incarcerated. Like, it's no life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got through all that stuff because I put myself through that. I'm accountable to say I made the wrong choices, and what I've been through has not been worth it. Now, I'm 48 years of age and I've got fuck all. My mate's 48 years of age. He's worth hundreds of millions. He ain't a bad man. He ain't stabbed no one. He ain't cut no one. He ain't shot no one. He's never even been in prison. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I want to promote. That kind of lifestyle, that kind of living. Not my living, not my lifestyle. That was a load of shit what I've lived. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad I got through it. And I'm here to say I got through it. But it's been shit. It's been shit. And it hasn't been worth it because it's been shit. Yeah? You have sporadic moments in life where, yeah, it's wicked. And then it's shit for years. And then it's good again for a little bit. And then it's shit for months. And then it's good. And then it's shit again. And then you're in prison. It's shit. And then your bird's shit. Your fucking friends are shit. Your life's shit. And then you move on. And then you get another bird. And then that's shit. And this is all bullshit. Everything's shit. 100% shit. Bullshit with a capital shit. Simple.
Last question then. What was your lowest moment in prison?
Being honest, I never had a low moment in prison.
You didn't get suicidal or anything like that?
No. I'll tell a lie. Once. Never got suicidal, but something happened between me and my ex-missus, and my eldest son refused to. I was in Parkhurst, and I was about 21. So I'm in Parkhurst with all the double cat A's and all the proper gangsters, all the old faces, and my son didn't want to speak to me. He didn't want to speak to me. And, you know, it just broke my heart. And and then basically I took myself off the wing and I went down the block and I started taking antidepressants. I'd see the doctor, I said, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I feel suicidal, I don't want to live, my son don't love me, my son don't have to do me, I don't know what I'm going to come out to. And then I was basically, I was down the block in Parkhurst and I heard someone out the window shouting to the screws, you think I'm a fucking mouse? I ain't no mouse, I'm a fucking man. Fucking mouse. You think I'm a mouse? Fucking man, I ain't no fucking mouse. And I'm lying in my bed, I thought, wow, what am I, a man or a mouse? I thought, I can't fucking take fucking antidepressants. I've got on the buzzer, called the doctor down. I said, I need to speak to the doctor. The doctor's going, I don't want your pills, mate, take them back. Like, what you want? I said, I don't fucking want them. And then I went back on the wing. But then replacing that trauma with violence. So that was the lowest point of my prison. But apart from that, I just candy coated it with trauma. So my trauma was getting parcels, getting gear, selling gear, and just creating more avenues to deflect the low points, I'd imagine, which never made me feel low because I was always high. Do you know what I mean? So replacing the trauma with trauma, never dealt with the trauma, so I don't know what trauma I ever dealt with or had, but I do know the lowest point was that in Parkhurst in 1994, when I didn't think my son loved me or didn't really want to see me again. And that was my lowest point in prison. But apart from that time, I never had a low time because I was always out my nut or drink or just burying all my problems with alcohol and drugs.
I appreciate your honesty, Marvin, and the people watching this. If you're as blown away as I am right now, everything from a fucking bullet going down your dick and through your bloody testicle to a bullet stopping in your eyeball. I mean, I'm still like hot and flustered just thinking about all the fucking shit you've just said. And it's like, this has got to be one of the craziest, wildest stories and interviews we've ever done on this channel. But it's also got this important social message. And I urge people to go down into the description box, click on Marvin's channel, click on Christian's channel. They're doing these podcasts. Perhaps by the time this is up, the interview they've done with me will be on it. It's really good viewing. Marvin put my story to the stress test. I had that come in, and I feel a real special bond with him now.
I'm glad about it, yeah? And the reason why I'm glad we done that, it was because it was like the kangaroo court that we used to hold in prisons. So you had to like
new arrivals.
Yeah, that's it. Like I've seen your podcast, I've seen your things, I've seen your way you do things. Your eyes are always darting all over the place. You're always a bit shady, but you've explained because of where you come from. You're not a bad man. You're not a gangster. Do you know what I mean? You're a middle class urban fucking white person from a small town outside Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? You're not accustomed to what we're accustomed to. So me looking at you, I'm expecting to see another version of me, right? But you're not that guy.
No, I had anxiety.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying.
I did the drugs because of my anxiety. And then I watched too many gangster movies and got gangsteritis.
Yeah, and that's why having that cross-examination through the podcast was good, because then people were going to see the honesty in the cross-examination.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't expect you to respond as well as you did.
Right.
I expected you to fall apart and start saying, I want to go. Do you understand? Like, I didn't expect that. I was gunning for it, but I thought, you know what? I don't think he's going to answer. I don't think he's going to do this. I don't think he's going to do that. But you answered all the questions and you give me all the information I needed. And even going off camera because of the legalities in certain situations you're in, I appreciate that, because it is what it is. And I understand where you're going. I understand what you're doing. And I understand when there's a legal aspect of a scenario, then we have to abide by the law.
And will you, are you up to coming on and being interviewed by me and Wildman then?
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Once in the new year, we'll do that.
Yeah.
What is it? I'm getting myself out there in the social media aspect platform. I'm making myself exist. And maybe I'll have you and Wildman come on mine.
I just want to see you and Wildman shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Because you two of the fucking craziest bastards I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
But lovable, totally lovable guys with fucking hearts of mountain lions.
Yeah.
You got a lot in common with him. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So if you're watching this, like I was just saying, please go down in the description box. Marvin's channel. Please subscribe. Please watch the videos and support the work that he's doing. Like he said, he hasn't got anything, but he's trying to get people to go on this positive track, and he's trying to rebuild a legitimate business as well.
I'm grooming for the right reasons. So I'm grooming, I want to groom billionaires. I want to groom people into becoming the best versions of them they can be and the best human beings they can ever become. And if I'm wrong for that, then so be it. But I'd rather do that than grooming a kid to go to prison, get shot or get killed.
We might want to, in this day and age, we might want to change that word to mentoring. Marvin, grooming's got a bad association.
Yeah, but you know what is see, it's the same principle.
It is, but it's got a bad connotation because of grooming gangs and shit.
I know. But what it is the same thing, right? You can't hide away from the reality.
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying to you is this: what I'm doing is mentoring, or you've got grooming. Do you know what I mean? So for the kids to understand where I come from, I'm grooming you to be a billionaire. Do you know what I'm saying? So let me groom you to be a billionaire. I'm not going to give you a product that's going to get you put in prison or get you shot, killed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they don't understand mentoring. Do you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
So it's just my little, it's my little unique selling point. You know, like, there's not many people that can get away with saying that word, mate. You know what I'm saying, John? And there ain't many people that'll get support from the criminal network, because the criminal network are a bunch of groomers. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's all they do. They groom other people so they can all benefit. Do you know what I mean? And prosper. And then the ones at the top of the chain, try to change things. Do you know what I mean? And then the people in the middle of the chain don't want to change things. They're caught in the middle.
I fucking love Marvin. He keeps it so real.
I mean,
if you love Marvin as well, go down, click on the link, support him, subscribe, go on his socials, and comment on his podcast, comment on this podcast, go in our description box, support our socials, support our cameraman, sound engineer. There's donation links down, there's the social media links, there's all of our playlists. We really appreciate your love and support. This has been such a fucking interesting day for me. It's going to go down with one of my all-time favourite interviews, no doubt. And I hope we can do a lot more work with Marvin. I'm going to give him a big hug now. Let's get the microphone out of the way. Please.